Hello and welcome to another edition of the ProtoBalls podcast, ProtoBalls Talk podcast. I'm ProtoMet.
I'm Barry.
They kidnapped me again for actually letting me free the last time, but
Yeah.
you guys really need to stop using the chloroform. It's
Absolutely
really messing with my head.
Never.
Never.
All right, fair enough.
Today, since it is another Friday the 13th, we will be taking a look at A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors.
Yes, and generally considered the best out of the entire series.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but it is definitely in my top 3.
Yeah, I have to say it's part of my top 3 as well.
I mean, it's usually everyone's favorite. It's usually the favorite of the fandom.
I mean, I can understand why.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, even if we're especially talking about like the original 6 films.
Of the original 6 films, yeah. Because, usually everybody's top 3 tends to be the original 3 and New Nightmare. And that's
pretty much my lineup.
This is
Maybe not in that
also
order,
this is also arguably the most star-studded of the films without actually being star-studded.
Without trying to be
stars. This is like Nightmare 1 where it's retroactively retroactively it's like, oh, it's got Johnny Depp, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood. Yeah, well, this one has Patricia Arquette before she got big, and Lawrence Fishburne before he got big.
His name was Larry Fishburne. Did you not read the credits?
You shut your fucking mouth, all right?
I kind of have to. I'm wearing a mask.
Cowboy Curtis.
Cowboy Curtis. This is during Fishburne's run as Cowboy Curtis on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
I don't think he might have appeared in that one. I'm not sure.
No, I'm pretty sure Playhouse and the Pee-wee movies are separate continuities. If I were to venture a guess.
Okay, well, I guess. Whatever.
I mean, I haven't actually seen either of the 2 movies, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have that elaborate house that he does on the TV show. So
this is also, fun fact, this is also directed by Chuck Russell, who would later go on to do The Blob, the remake.
Which you are definitely going to be joining us whenever we get around to doing the podcast for that.
He also did The Mask, the first Mask, which is,
The superior
not to
mask.
be confused with the first movie, The Mask, which has nothing to do with the comic book series that is more famous for the movie.
No,
with Jim Carrey.
Yeah, he did that movie.
He did the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah, he did the Jim Carrey
That's
movie.
what I was saying.
Yes. He also did Arnold Schwarzenegger Eraser, and then he also did The Scorpion King, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Well, they can't all be winners.
Yeah, they all can't be winners, but hey, I mean, let me just...
So, are we just talking about the one where he is actually half man, half scorpion, or the movie Scorpion King?
The movie Scorpion King.
Oh. That movie was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, but those are like... So, Nightmare 3, The Blob, The Mask, and Eraser are probably like the big 4 movies that he's done. Yeah, that's about it. This is his first movie, the first movie that he directed.
Well, it's a strong start.
Yeah, strong start.
Debut.
Yeah, we got, yeah, and like, Heather Langenkamp is back in this one.
Robert Englund's also back.
Robert Englund's
nobody's
back.
surprised at that.
Well, after they did with 2, I think just that one little scene where it wasn't Robert, you could definitely tell that it wasn't him.
Yeah. John Saxon is also here. And
we're spoiling all the big reveals in this movie, aren't we?
Yeah, we'll just spoil all of them. Who cares? Who cares? Dude, this is like a 35-year-old movie. Nobody cares. There's also cameos from Dick Cavett and Zsa Zsa Gabor, which is just the wildest. There's a reason they appear.
Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Zsa Zsa Gabor. No, there's a reason they appear, and it's just the funniest reason. But written by Wes Craven, not directed by him or produced by him, because he really...
Well, now I can understand why this movie is so good.
Yeah, written by Wes Craven and Bruce Wagner, who did a couple of other movies like I'm Losing You, but not really
I
important.
don't think I've ever heard of that one.
But largely, it's just this is Wes Craven's story. There's a Wes Craven story realized by other people because he didn't want to direct. Craven's. I understand Craven a little bit. He doesn't like doing sequels.
I mean, I know what his original intention for the second movie would have been had he made it, and eventually he did, but that's for much later.
Yeah.
But yeah, the actual second Nightmare on Elm Street movie was nowhere near what he was thinking, and he probably wanted to get back on board to try and right the train.
Yeah, 2 was hot garbage. I think we all agree it was terrible.
But not the worst of the series.
Not the worst.
No.
Somehow.
It's awkwardly not the worst. We'll discuss the worst when it comes to it.
I actually still kind of like the movie. I just recognize that, this really isn't a Nightmare on Elm Street movie in the proper sense.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good, and I still kind of do, but it's very poor compared to a few of the others that are getting made.
Right. So this released February 27th, 1987 from New Line Cinema. It had a budget of $4.6 million and did $44.8 at the box office. Not bad. Not bad.
No.
Sorry, hold on. I'm getting my bearings here.
Barry is getting his bearings.
Yes. So, the movie takes place a year after... the movie takes place a year after 2.
Okay.
So, yeah, just take its word for it.
That doesn't really tell me how long after the first movie it takes place.
6 years.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Because 2 takes place after 5 years after. This takes place 6 years after.
Okay, that lines up with what we end up learning.
Yep.
In the movie.
And we're introduced to Kristen Parker, who is played by Patricia Arquette,
and making a paper mache replica of the house. The Nightmare House.
I was going to say the Strode House, but wrong franchise.
What house?
The Strode House. Wrong franchise.
And now you know why I'm wearing a mask for this.
Yes. Freddy Krueger shows up. Kristen has been trying very hard not to fall asleep, and her mom is very uncaring about Kristen's concerns.
To be fair, at least at the very least with Freddy Krueger and his attacking people in their nightmares, there's not really much you can do aside from showing other people that yes, this is actually happening. I'm not just imagining things.
My biggest issue, maybe not. I guess it could have been swept under the rug, but think back to the first movie where you had 3 teenagers and an adult woman killed in the span of a weekend.
However, you must remember that the first was killed by her boyfriend, who then committed suicide.
Okay, well, how do you explain not Rod? How do you explain How do you explain Johnny Depp's character? There is no not
even an attempt to.
Yeah, there is no attempt to try and work around it.
Unless they made the room upside down to make that shit work.
Unless John Saxon's character, who I believe was the sheriff at the time, I imagine he probably swept it under the rug because he was like, "Nope, we're not. We're just not. No,
we're not dealing with this. This is too bizarre of a case for us to even figure out where to begin with this."
Yeah,
and then his wife just immolated herself.
Yeah, and then and then his wife committed suicide. That's probably.
She probably fell asleep while smoking a cigarette.
Yeah,
Because she was drunk.
Because she was drunk. So
I don't remember her if she smoked or not, but I would assume maybe.
So Kristen falls asleep in a dream, and Freddy shows up and attacks her and slits her wrist. And
or makes
we just
kind of
ignore the fact that the second movie happened.
Yeah, we're just ignoring the fact that the second movie happened. That doesn't.
For all intents and purposes, some kid from a high school went on a murder spree. At a pool party.
Exactly. You know what? Yeah, that's probably how it was reasoned.
Well, we're gonna head back to the second movie just for this little bit. I just really thought it was kind of funny that the dad of the girl's pool party thing just pulls out a shotgun and tries to shoot Freddy and just misses by a fucking mile.
There were witnesses.
Yeah.
People, there were witnesses.
Look, shit got crazy. Besides, for all we know, he still looked like the kid.
He probably
maybe.
He probably still looked like
Jesse.
And so Jesse's probably locked up in an insane asylum somewhere.
Not that we'll ever know, because he never shows up
shows up again. So, yeah, a lot of it can be explained to be swept under the rug and just, odd occurrences, except for the one kid from one, where it's just that you're going to have a real hard time explaining how he's coming out in body parts.
Yeah.
But but basically what I'm trying to say is that, you're not going to be able to convince somebody that you're being hunted by a guy who's trying to kill you in your dreams. They're just going to assume you're having nightmares.
Oh, that bitch doctor at the asylum, or not asylum, but the hospital.
At the hospital.
Asylum, I went a little too far there.
Again, from her perspective, this is just a bunch of kids who are having mass
hysteria. Mass hysteria, yeah.
Yep.
So Kristen's taken to Weston Hills Psychiatric Hospital, where she's under the care of a Dr. Neil Gordon. And she's freaking the fuck out.
Oh yeah, she has a scalpel and everything, and she cuts Cowboy Curtis.
Yeah, she cuts Laura,
and then she starts chanting the nursery rhyme.
Yeah, and
then Nancy shows up and finishes it.
Yep, because Nancy is actually an intern at the hospital. She's actually interning under Gordon.
It's presumed that she graduated college.
Yep.
With a major in, dream psychology. Probably as a direct result of her experiences.
Correct. And it's around this point in the movie where Gordon sort of discovers that Nancy is using Hypnosil.
I think it might be a little bit later, but it's not super important when he finds it.
It's not super. Here's the thing about Hypnosil. It only shows up in this movie and is never referred to again, except in Freddy vs. Jason, which is crazy. It is they pulled this deep from the depths of the forgotten lore in the series, and they're like, we're using this. And Hypnosil is an experimental drug in the Nightmare on Elm Street universe that
suppresses dreams.
Yeah, it suppresses dreams, and I believe the reason that it's so controversial is that it sort of blocks out REM sleep. So that's why all the doctors were like, no, this is a highly experimental drug, and a psychoactive drug, and you want me to give it to teenagers? But long story short, so there's Kristen here, and then there's several other teenagers that are also here. There's Philip, who likes to sleepwalk. There's Kincaid, who's from the streets. He's a tough kid. There's Jennifer, who wants to be an actress. Will, who uses a wheelchair because he was in an accident. There's Taryn, who is a recovering drug addict, and there's Joey, who is mute.
Mm-hmm.
So, one night,
One night in Bangkok.
No, please don't.
Now that's stuck in my head.
No regrets.
But Kristen and Nancy start sort of talking to each other, and Nancy...
Yeah, it's actually Nancy manages to calm Christy down when she's having her panic attack.
Yeah.
So that's how they manage to get her under control and get the scalpel away from her.
Nancy also, after talking with Kristen for a little bit, decides to go over to Kristen's house and sort of just look around.
And finds the papier-mâché version of her old house.
Yeah, I think what Nancy's doing there is that she's just sort of looking around trying to get information on Kristen, and she finds the papier-mâché house. And then both of them fall asleep. So Kristen's in the hospital, and she falls asleep in the hospital, while Nancy falls asleep at Kristen's house. Confusing, I know.
But they both wind up in the same place.
Yeah, because Kristen gets attacked by Freddy, who elongates into like a fucking worm and tries to devour Kristen alive.
That
Yikes.
thing shows back up again in Freddy vs. Jason.
Yes, that
is probably the most iconic form that he takes in terms of transformations in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yeah, but yeah, she's able to pull Nancy into her dreams so they can fight off Freddy for this little bit.
Yep.
Stave him off for the time being. I think we also forgot to mention how at the beginning of the movie, Christy has a nightmare where she tries to rescue a girl who is dead in her arms.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, but it's not really.
It's not super relevant, but it is visually.
It's the setup. It's the setup to Freddy attacking her.
Mm-hmm. Then the scene where her mom sees her in the bathroom and it looks like she slit her wrist.
Yeah.
Which is what the inciting incident to get her hospitalized.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Kristen and Nancy, they sort of talk to one another, and sorry. So Nancy is like, "How are you able to do that?" And Kristen,
I used to do it when I was having nightmares as a kid, and I would pull my dad in, and he'd mention the dreams to me, and
yeah.
I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry him, but then he left, and so I just stopped pulling him into the dreams. So.
Yeah, pretty much. So so Kristen has a dream power, is what it is, and every kid has one, except for poor Philip, because
I
mean, maybe he does, but we never get to see it.
Yeah, we never get to see it.
Yeah, Philip. Yeah, he probably by far one of the coolest deaths in this entire movie.
Phillips is probably, honestly, in this movie, it's between Phillips. It's between Phillips, Taryn's, and Jennifer's death that is among the most iconic in the movie.
And people wonder why this is one of the fan favorites.
Yes.
Nobody wonders that. They know.
But yeah, Phil's death is probably in the top 5. Just off the top of my head, there's not Rod's death. Steve. I think it's Steve's death in part 1.
Well, I mean, come on.
Yep. Steve's death, getting pulled into the bed.
Yeah.
There's Philip's death. There's Jen's death. Taryn's probably maybe not so much, but just by the sheer uncomfortableness of it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a death, I think, in either part 4 or part 5, which is the Roach Motel. That's about it, actually, for iconic deaths. Oh, I mean, and who could forget the fucking shit. Oh, man. Now you're playing with power!
The power glove.
The power glove!
I will admit, from this movie onwards, the dream kills get a lot more imaginative.
Yes.
So you could at least give them credit for thinking up incredibly unique ways to kill characters.
I think, yeah, my biggest problem with them is, like, they're...
It doesn't seem very realistic.
They're not supposed to be.
I know.
No, I think, like, in this movie in particular, they are still more steeped in horror.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Taryn and Philip's kills. Like, those are very horrifying deaths. Will and Jennifer, not so much. I mean, those are, I mean, Will's is pretty,
Weak.
yeah, Will's death is pretty milquetoast.
Well, Will, no offense to Will, but he is the weakest link.
Goodbye. Whereas like 4, 5, and 6, outside of the Roach Motel, all of them are really dumb. They're just really dumb deaths.
I'm not going to argue the point.
Like, oh, yeah, like a comic book death. Oh, ooh, real scary. The fucking power glove? Okay.
That one's just fucking hilarious.
The waterbed? I mean, come on, guys. What the fuck are we doing here?
Making movies where they can get pretty imaginative with the kills, even
whatever.
if they're not, you know.
This one still felt like it was actually a horror movie rather than like a horror comedy.
And we haven't even talked about what actually happens.
Yeah. So yeah, like Philip's death is really gruesome, in the sense that because he likes to make puppets.
He likes to make marionettes.
Yeah, Philip likes to make marionettes. So what does Freddy do? He decides, oh, I can make a marionette too, and he
by his veins.
Well, he slits off all of
open his
tendons.
Legs.
Yep.
Yeah, he slits open Phillips's tendons and makes him sleepwalk up to the clock tower or up to the bell tower.
Completely aware of what's happening.
Yeah. Which is horrifying. And nobody notices him. Kincaid notices it, and he's just like, alright, motherfucker, you're just sleepwalking. Fuck you.
Kincaid's kind of an asshole.
Kincaid's kind of an asshole in this movie.
Yeah, he goes, Philip, go to bed. Philip, well, fuck you, asshole. Literally didn't even attempt to, like, turn him around or anything.
Or wake him up.
To be fair, this is probably the first actual kill of the Elm Street kids in this.
Yes, this is the first kill of the Elm Street kids.
So they probably didn't know that, you know, Freddy would actually kill them.
I guess so.
They were just having some incredibly bad
Well,
nightmares.
that's not true, actually, because Will and,
I mean, they're definitely trying to,
Yeah, Will and Joey, they sleep in the same room, and Will tells Joey, hey, if anything starts happening, wake me up.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah, okay, never mind. That is the darkness.
I like how they have a small little argument. No, I did it last night. No, it's your turn.
Yeah. So the kids do seem to know a little bit. They're terrified. Mm-hmm. Needless to say, they're fucking terrified of their own dream. I think Kincaid here just has a lapse in judgment because he's tired.
Mm-hmm.
To be fair, these kids have been actively avoiding sleep.
Yeah.
For this exact reason. So.
And not to mention, Kincaid was also, like, he was in the quiet room for a while.
Right.
At the near the beginning of the movie, he was thrown into the quiet room because he was, I guess, acting violent. So nevertheless, Philip is dragged up to the top, and Joey sees this, and he wakes up Will.
And they break the window and he's trying to scream. And
Philip takes a tray and wakes everybody in the hall up.
Yeah, and they all witness Philip fall to his death.
Which everybody at the hospital, aside from them, just assumes is him committing suicide.
They assume...
It was a sleepwalking accident.
They assume it was a sleepwalking accident or a suicide. Mm-hmm. They can't make up their minds on what it was.
I mean, to be fair, they didn't see the injuries
Yeah.
that he had.
Well, he didn't have the injuries.
Not in the real world, no.
Yeah, so he...
But what adds to the mystery is that he entered into an area that was literally locked off with a padlock.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, over the course of the movie, Neil, the main doctor,
Neil Patrick Harris.
No, not Neil Patrick Harris, continues to run into like an older nun who happens to be walking the grounds, and it seems to be she's like stalking him or whatnot, but eventually Nancy convinces Neil, like, hey, like, you need to trust me on this.
It's like, I know what these kids are going through, and I need you to trust me regardless of what happens. Just set your beliefs aside for a moment and just trust me.
Yeah. And eventually, like,
But
yeah.
That's after what Jennifer...
That's right around when Jennifer dies. Because
they're talking about that when this is happening, but
yeah, literally when Jennifer dies, it's literally possibly the next day. They're grieving.
Yeah, they're still pretty shook up over Philip's death.
Yeah.
And Jennifer just wants to stay up watching TV because she.
Yeah, and I think they're in she's in the staff's break room.
She's in the TV room.
Yeah. Something like that.
And then one thing leads to another.
Larry Fishburne finds her.
Larry.
Shut up.
I can't remember what his name in this movie is.
His name is Max.
Max finds her, but
Pegasus.
he agrees to keep quiet about having seen her.
Can we just talk about Lorenzo for a second? That the other male nurse.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Fuck that guy. What a scumbag.
He literally wants to nail
Terrence.
Yeah, so
and if she does, he'll give her some good old
fuck you.
Yeah,
fuck this guy.
So Lorenzo has the keys to the drug closet.
The dispensary.
The dispensary. Mm-hmm. And Lorenzo knows that Taryn is a recovering addict, and he's like, hey, you want some amphetamines? I'll show you heaven. And it's just like, what the fuck? That's gross. And he never gets any comeuppance for it.
No, he doesn't.
Admittedly, that's probably the last he appears in the entire movie.
He shows up every once in a while to like
background scene,
yeah.
or if one of them are going off.
Yeah, when one of them's going off, he shows up.
It's the last time that he's even relevant in the movie.
Yeah,
it's like his only lines afterward.
Like the only relevance he has otherwise is that he is otherwise the boyfriend of one of the nurses that mute kid, what's his name?
Johnny,
Joey.
Joey has a crush on.
Right. So anyways,
Max finds Jennifer in the
common room,
and he agrees to not say anything, and just let her stay up.
Yeah, he's very sympathetic to the kids because they just went through a traumatic experience and they're really going through the ringer right now, and because he
cares for them.
He cares for them, but he doesn't want
the head.
Yeah, I think Elaine. I think is the. Not Elaine. That's Kristen's mom. Elizabeth, Dr. Elizabeth Sims.
Miss Sims.
Yeah, Max doesn't want Dr. Sims to fucking get on his ass about it, but he's very sympathetic to them, so he just says, I didn't see you. Alright? Bye. So Jennifer's watching TV, and all of a sudden there's Dick Cavett.
At one point, in order to try and stay awake, she lit
she lit a cigarette.
A snuffed out cigarette and burns herself.
Yeah.
She
doesn't work.
Starts taking a few drugs of it to get that slight high. And that's not working. And then she burns herself, and then the TV starts getting all staticky and wonky.
Yep, and so we get a scene with Dick Cavett and Zsa Zsa Gabor in cameos. And literally the only reason that Dick Cavett and Zsa Zsa Gabor are in this movie is because Wes Craven jokingly was like, I'm not really a big fan of Zsa Zsa Gabor, so she's just one of those...
How can I kill her?
Yeah, she's just one of those characters that I just like to kill.
Now that's fucking funny right there.
So Dick Cavett during the interview, he turns into Freddy, and Freddy is just like, fuck you, and kills Zsa Zsa Gabor, and Jennifer is just like, what the fuck? And then she gets grabbed by Freddy, who's the TV.
Because she goes up to the TV to try and change the channel once it starts going.
Yeah.
Because the clicker stopped working.
And
giant clicker.
And she is shoved face first into the television.
While Freddy quips, this is your big break. Welcome to prime time, bitch.
Yep. So she's dead, and
That was an iconic line.
And Max is the one who wanders in and sees her dead. And he's just like, fuck.
Yep. And it's not really physically possible to do that.
Yeah, and they write this off as a suicide as well. And it's like, how do you write this off as a suicide?
You get a running start. Because it's a TV that's hanging off the wall, not sitting on like a stand or something.
Yeah,
I could see like if they went like boom, but how she was hanging there is like no. It's just a movie.
The only way I can assume that they write it off is she got a running start and jumped head first at the TV.
Yeah,
you know how hard that fucking glass is, though.
Yeah, these doctors are dumb.
Well, when the alternative explanation is that a murderer in her dreams killed her.
Yeah.
Occam's razor.
I'm just gonna say, like, the shit that happens in this movie. Especially the finale, right? Especially the finale. Fucking insane. Mm-hmm. Because there was zero way the town would there's zero way the hospital, the town, the police would be able to, like, explain this away. And yet by the next movie, it's just like, everything's hunky-dory, guys. But,
God, you just want to stop them people.
It's just like, what the fuck?
I think it's at about this point that, what's his name, Neil?
Neil listens to Nancy.
Mm-hmm. And does manage to get the kids prescribed Hypnosil. On a test basis.
Yeah. He says we're going to try and get them on Hypnosil. But,
they also do like a dream session type, or where they have to watch. Nancy,
Nancy and Neil gets everyone together, and
because this is her being like, okay, you gotta trust me. So they have an unofficial, straight talk, group meeting.
And Nancy is just like, here's what's up: Freddy Krueger, child murderer, child murderer. Like a decade or two ago, my parents, your parents, every parent from Elm Street burned him alive, alright? Burned him alive in the boiler room of the old factory where he used to work. Now he's haunting us, killing all of us. 6 years ago, he killed 3 of my friends. And my mom.
Oh yeah? How do you know that this is the same guy? And then she goes on to describe him in explicit detail that matches up with their dream.
Brown hat.
Listen, he's a fedora lord.
Enough said. Enough said.
Bro's a fedora lord. Right? I know what he looks like.
He looks like this motherfucker on my desk.
He looks like that kind of guy. But,
Christmas shirt wearing motherfucker.
So all the kids believe her now, which begs the question. Very specifically, why did Freddy target those 4 kids initially?
Because they're from Elm Street.
Right. I was about to.
They're the kids of the kids from Elm Street.
Well, my explanation would be
think.
My explanation was actually going to be, it is because they're the children of the parents most responsible for killing him. Nancy's mom and dad spearheaded the whole thing. Nancy's dad is the sheriff. He covered it up. So
he's just working outwards from responsibility.
He's working outwards from responsibility. He killed 3 of the kids of the parents most responsible. Didn't kill Nancy, and now Nancy's on an experimental drug. So he had to be.
He can't really get to her.
Yeah, so he had to be.
I'll circle back to this bitch.
Yes,
later.
And he had to work.
I'm gonna try reviving myself first.
And he also
had random chuckle fuck.
Well, he also had to work. So he worked outwards, but he was also dormant for a couple of years because Nancy defeated him, allegedly. And then my theory, because 2 doesn't really ever get involved in the canon anymore, but my theory is with 2, he tried to find a host body to take over, and when that failed, he just said, fuck it, I'm just going to stick to the dream shtick.
But I'm going to wait until they're teenagers.
I'm going to wait until they're
teenagers. Because I
teenagers.
have standards, apparently.
God damn it.
Because I'm a child-molesting murderer.
That's not established until the remake.
Oh.
No, it's actually mentioned in the TV series.
Okay.
Like, characters mention it. It's like, really? Really, TV show? You're of questionable canonicity.
Yeah, well...
in the remake, they just full out say.
Yeah, unfortunately, but...
No, you know what's worse with the remake? The remake is more like... well, maybe he didn't do it. Maybe
we lied about it. Oh no, he actually did that shit.
Maybe he was innocent all along. Oh no, he actually is a child molester. Why are you trying to make us sympathetic to him? Yeah, that's like if it was like the original where it was like, well, maybe he was innocent, but no, he's a child murderer.
To be fair, maybe in the TV show, the characters are exaggerating him being a child murderer.
Yeah, probably.
And adding on the molestation part.
Well, in the original script...
It's just weird that the TV show that was on national television decided to add the molester angle.
Yes. The original script originally had him as a child molester.
Is just bad.
And Wes Craven had to be talked out of it.
Good.
Thank God.
They were like, child molestation's way too dark because this is also around the time where the
was there a lot of that going on?
There was a big scandal around the time when maybe you might have heard of this. It was like a babysitting scandal where like a bunch of parents accused some babysitters of like being child molesters. Nothing came of it, and those parents eventually got sued for defamation. But it was like a real concern at the time for child molesting, and so
for at the time it was a line they were not willing to cross.
Yes, at the time that was like. Yeah, nowadays you could like movies. You can do anything. Whatever. You want to be as depraved as possible, sure. Oh, you want to do a remake of Solo or 1200 Days of Sodom? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I don't even want to see the original.
No,
thank you.
One guy reviewing that movie turned me off to that whole concept.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Through the side tangent, Solo is actually a remake. The 70s movie is a remake of a book by a French author called Sade, which is where the term sadism comes from.
I thought it was because of the Marquis de Sade.
Yeah, Marquis de Sade.
Oh, okay. So yeah. he
wrote Solo.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Because I thought you said Sade.
Yeah, Sade, yeah.
Sade?
There's a different... it's Marquis de Sade. Sorry.
Yeah, because you said Sade, and I was like, what, Shadi from Yu-Gi-Oh?
No.
So that's why I assumed it was somebody completely unrelated to the Marquis.
Yeah, Marquis de Sade. I had a momentary lapse where I was like, I could not remember.
Now I get it. That makes a lot more sense.
And then, but the director who did Solo, he got murdered shortly after the movie came out because he was a massive anti-fascist. And Salo, just so you know, is an anti-fascist film. It depicts the Italian, German, Nazi elites as for what they are, horrible fucking people. And he also had a lot of criticisms about Italian society at the time, and that's what got him allegedly murdered by not the mafia, but like possibly government forces. Possibly murdered by the government. So, yeah.
We learned a lot today.
Yes.
Not much I wanted to actually learn, but we learned a lot.
Well, it fits in with sort of Wes Craven's sort of theme of, like, the dark, seedier side of Americana.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Like...
Hills Have Eyes.
Like, The Hills Have Eyes. Last House on the Left. Nightmare on Elm Street. Scream.
Children Under the Stairs.
Children Under the Stairs.
That's a good fucking movie.
I've never seen it. I probably should, though.
So, it all sort of ties in a little bit. And, of course, Freddy Krueger is a sadist. He enjoys inflicting the pain that he does upon the children.
I mean, especially once he starts delivering one-liners as he does it.
Yeah. Well...
It really starts here. I mean...
Well, I think it's in the first movie. He does deliver a couple of one-liners.
Yeah, but I feel like here is where they start to lean into it.
This is where they start to...
funny.
Yeah, this is where they start leaning into the more of the dark comedic elements of the character, whereas the first movie, he does say he does have one-liners, but it's played seriously. It's played straight. Like, he is not... he finds humor in it, but it's not like the audience is supposed to find this funny. Whereas, like, oh, it's your big break on TV, welcome to prime time, bitch. The audience is supposed to find that funny. But, yeah, never mind.
Well, now you're playing with power.
Now you're playing with power!
With the power glove.
Realistically, no person of age to see that movie would care about video games,
Whoa.
realistically.
Whoa, I got a high score! It's just like, fuck off.
That's in 4.
Or fuck, like, or what about fucking 6, where the guy's falling out of the sky, and so he rolls out. It's like a fucking Looney Tunes bit like a Wile E. Coyote bit where he rolls out like a bed of spikes and shit, and he's leaning against it, and he's just like, I'm tired. And it's just like, fuck off! Like...
Yeah, I didn't even remember that happened.
Yes. Yeah.
Granted, I don't like remembering that 6 happened at all, but...
Nobody likes it.
Well, fair point.
Nobody likes 6.
Freddy's dead.
Yeah, nobody likes Freddy's dead, and nobody likes Jason Goes to Hell, okay? I'm sure there are some people who like Jason Goes to Hell, but
I'm not one of them!
I'm not me neither. Fuck that movie. We'll discuss that when we get there.
For a number of years, that was one of the few Friday the 13th movies I'd actually seen. And rewatching it, like, yeah, no, that was a piece of shit.
Oh, God, yeah.
And listen. If you are a person who likes Freddy's Dead or Jason Goes to Hell, and you're in my presence, I will ask you politely, yet firmly, to leave.
What if they want their steaks well done?
No. Well, Bobby, we asked them politely yet firmly to leave. That's what I was referencing.
I
King of the Hill.
That reference.
Yes. So, nevertheless, the kills in this movie are still relatively played straight, but there's still some comedic element to it.
Yeah, I believe the comedic element started with this one, then it just continued.
It started, yeah. It 100% starts with Jennifer, and then it quickly goes downhill from there.
But we can all agree, both those three of us, we can all agree though that this is where the kills get a lot more creative because of the lack of restrictions regarding actual feasibility.
They have a bigger budget.
They have a bigger budget, and they can go a lot more elaborate because it's dreams.
Yeah.
They're not like with the Friday the 13th movies that have a lot of incredibly creative kills, but with incredibly conventional means.
A lot of those kills have to be dumbed down, though, because they were so good that
they were too good that producers were like, no, we can't have this much awesomeness.
You know what actually sucks though is the one dream that I actually would have liked to have seen was from the first movie. Like the bed sucking scene. I have to wonder what he was dreaming about to get when he gets sucked into the bed and just blown apart, basically.
Who knows?
Yeah, like
it's a curious thought.
Yeah,
I'm under the assumption that he was dreaming that he was just in bed awake.
I guess maybe.
And Freddy just kind of caught him off guard like that.
Maybe, I guess.
That makes it. Let us have our own dream.
Yeah.
I
mean, hell, in the remake, Rod's death is whatever.
You'll see it when you decide to watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I gotta rip that Band-Aid off at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, God,
so Jennifer's dead. Nancy explains everything, and everybody decides to try a dream session, like dream therapy.
So they go into hypnosis and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Joey just wanders off while everybody's like, well, we can't all be winners. We'll try this again some other time.
Suddenly everything starts floating, and Will stands up, and he's like, in my dreams, I can walk, and I'm a master magician.
Because he loves RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons.
He loves Dungeons and Dragons.
He's actually shown him playing with Taryn
and Joey. Yep.
Before bedtime.
It's like...
Yeah, because Taryn leaves to go to bed, and Will asks Joey, well, what do you think I should do with her character now that she's left? And Joey just goes, like, crosses his neck with his thumb. Like, kill her. Kincaid has super strength in his dreams.
So he just absolutely mangles a chair. And by absolutely mangles, I mean...
He just bends the legs in a little.
And Taryn is...
a punk girl.
Is a punk girl.
Switchblades.
She goes,
yeah.
In my dreams, I'm beautiful.
Not switch...
Yeah, they're switchblades.
Okay.
The switchblades.
Ja white.
I was just wondering if there was a difference between knives that have flip-out blades and ones that pop out. But I guess they can both be called switchblades.
Yeah. As long as they can...
Yeah.
Definitely not butterfly knives.
No.
No, yeah, they're switchblades.
Just like
so they realize they're in the dream, but they don't realize that Joey has wandered off.
Because of the nurse that wants... that he has a crush on. Takes him in. Seduces him.
All right, let's just get past it. It's Freddy in disguise.
Yeah.
It's nasty. He basically, this is what I do like about 3 is he holds Joey hostage for like the rest of the movie.
Yep.
So Joey is a hostage, which means
he's left in a coma as a result of this.
Yes, which presumably means he's tortured. He's being slowly tortured by Freddy.
He's literally over a fire pit.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse is that once the other kids realize that he's not there, they try to leave the room, only for Freddy to be like, "Ha, nope."
Yeah.
No. You're in a furnace now.
And
yeah, they went into the boiler.
And the only reason they're saved is because Dr. Sims comes in and sees the unauthorized hypno session.
Yeah, it wakes them all up, and then she alerts the dean, and the dean is just like, "That's it, you're off duty," to Neil and Nancy. So Joey's in a coma. All the other kids are freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, because the two that are trying to help have been dismissed.
And Dr. Sims doesn't know what the fuck she's doing.
And she takes them off the hypnosil.
So Neil is sort of wandering around the hospital.
I think we should have a spoiler break here because...
And this explains a lot of elements, I guess.
Yeah.
So, who's your favorite character in the movie?
Nancy? I mean, she does Heather Langenkamp does a fantastic job returning to the role.
I like Christina.
Kristen?
Yeah, Kristen.
Played by Patricia Arquette, yeah. Solid second for me.
See, yeah, I like Kincaid. Kincaid's cool.
Oh, he's cool. I like him. He starts off kind of like a dick.
There's really not a bad character. I mean, there's...
I hate that they kind of made him just the token black guy, though.
Yeah.
That was the thing at the time.
The token street kid?
Yeah.
But he doesn't get killed off first.
No, he doesn't.
Nope, black guy doesn't die first.
I
like Max's. I like Lawrence Fishburne's character as well, Max. He's all right.
Max was pretty cool.
He's very sympathetic.
Yeah, this movie has a lot of solid characters, except for that one orderly.
Yeah, I wish he would have got his knuppets.
Fucking Lorenzo. Yuck.
Like the dude from Sleepaway Camp that needs to be boiled alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My balls! No, kidding. But, no, like, I think all the characters are fairly solid, except for, like, Philip and Jennifer, because we don't get to see them.
No, their plot doesn't really go anywhere.
They're developed enough for us to have a reaction when they die.
Or Kristen's mom, who her character is quite literally, I'm an uncaring parent who would rather fuck around with other men than care about my daughter.
Where's the bourbon?
Yeah, where's the bourbon? Where's the bourbon? Yeah, I would say I like Kincaid the most out of all. Taryn's also really good.
I like Taryn too.
Taryn's also really good. She's very snarky.
She's borderline bitchy, but not bitchy.
She's bitchy in a good way.
That's it.
Because she has legitimate concerns.
Yeah.
Like, she's not an uncaring asshole. She's got an attitude, but
she is not Bulma and Namek.
Oh.
Yeah. That's a deep cut.
Jesus,
wow.
that wound is deep. Like, there's no stopping that blood flow.
Get this in critical condition, because that's a 3rd-degree burn.
What purpose does Bulma serve on Namek? None. Outside of getting Gohan and Krillin there.
And the Dragon Radar.
And the Dragon Radar, which, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Toriyama just couldn't figure out anything to do with her that didn't involve
He doesn't want to forget about her.
Well, Toriyama wanted to harken back to the classic, like, Dragon Ball series where it's like, oh, they're all going on an adventure together and they're all gonna save the world, and it's like, but Bulma needs something to do.
Right.
Like, it'd be one thing. It'd be one thing if she was there and, like, communicating with everybody and sort of helping strategize, but no.
Bulma's whole role in Namek is
hiding.
Yelling at everybody and hiding.
Yeah.
And not being aware of anything that's going on.
That's really it. Like, if she had something where it was like, all right, here's communicators for us to be able to talk, and so she could be able to, like, give advice or whatnot, help strategize, you know. She also, and her power level is also pitifully low. So
she's supposed to be a normal human.
She's a normal human. So, I mean, while Team 3 Star's out fighting, she could go out and, like, look for other Dragon Balls and try to...
Or maybe find a way of fixing the spaceship.
Yeah, fixing the spaceship. She could be with Dende and Guru, you know? Instead, they don't have her do anything outside of a filler arc in the anime where she fights crabs in the ocean. And I think there's a shampoo for that.
I think she also gets possessed by Ginyu, but
yes.
then gets fixed.
Yeah,
Ginyu realizes that she has no fucking power.
She has no power because she's a normal human. She's a super genius, mind you. A super genius human, but a relatively normal human compared to Krillin, who is arguably the strongest human.
I mean, he survived long enough, so...
Yeah.
I mean, everybody else died.
I'm just thinking, like, on a tier list, the question is, would you put Krillin above Tien?
That is a good question.
Especially in Super, what's Krillin's power level at that point?
Right.
Fuck.
Because
they're probably even.
I might think that Krillin might be a bit lower because Tien has kept up with his training.
You know what?
Whereas Krillin became a cop.
You know what? Actually, here's what I think, actually. Krillin is probably slightly stronger than Tien because Tien never had his full potential unlocked, unlike Krillin had with Guru.
A fair point.
Yeah.
So even though Krillin dies...
Yeah, but consider this. How many times has Gohan had his potential unlocked?
That's true. That's true. But Gohan's a half Saiyan, which is...
Right! But Guru's like, okay, now you're at your strongest. And then Elder Kai's like, okay, now you're at your strongest.
Okay, actually, all right.
And then he still gets stronger in Superhero.
Hold it, all right? Just a quick disclaimer on that. Guru doesn't max out their strength. He unlocks their potential.
Right, but that's what Elder Kai does too. His process just takes a lot longer and involves a lot more dancing.
I guess.
Bulma.
But...
yeah, we kind of completely forgot that.
Well, no. We'll segue back into it. But this is a good conversation to have. Now, who would have a stronger power level? Freddy Krueger or Krillin? Or Goku? Or Super Kami Guru? No, that's the real question. Who's the bigger maniac? Freddy Krueger or Guru? Abridged Guru.
Fair point.
Fuck. Good thing you said abridged. I'm like,
yeah. But the hurricane's name is Ditka. Sorry, we're pulling from a lot of references here. What's your favorite scene? Or is it one that hasn't happened yet?
I mean, it's a bit hard to pick any one scene from this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I suppose if you put a gun to my head, it'd be Freddy Snake.
The Freddy Snake?
Yeah. Where he's trying to swallow Christy.
Oh, yeah. Freddy Snake. Yep. Sorry, I blanked on that for a second.
Freddy Snake.
Freddy Snake? What the fuck is this? Giant Snake Fred. Frederick Krueger the Fourth. Junior.
The Fourth Esquire.
The Fourth Junior Esquire. I don't know where that came from. What about you?
Probably the... I like a lot of them. It's hard. When Christine brings Heather into the dream to help.
Nancy,
yeah. I couldn't think of Nancy.
Doesn't Nancy stab Freddy with a mirror piece?
With a mirror, with a glass shard.
Which, completely contradicts, a later movie's ending. Somewhat.
Whatever.
Admittedly, that was dumb when they pulled that, but...
yeah.
We'll discuss how bullshit that is.
The ways they kill Freddy, doesn't make a lick of sense. This one at least makes sense. This one works within the confines of the series. It's no, that is definitively how you would defeat Freddy Krueger.
And then the later movies is fucking show him in a mirror.
Kick a dynamite.
Kick him in the dick.
Huh?
kick him in the dick!
Why does he keep kicking me in the dick?
I can't kick him in the dick. He's a
I say, I lost.
We're going to Candy Mountain, Charlie.
What?
It's the Candy Mountain.
That just reminded me of like a whole scenario I'd come up with, where it's like a knight adventurer on a journey, and he's got like a much more normal human companion who's just kind of there for moral support, and they go up against a giant monster, and the support guy's like, kick him in the dick!
Kick him in the dick!
And the knight's like,
Kick him in the dick!
It's like, I can't! Why not? He's he's a woman! Kick her in the dick! Right?
Oh, fuck.
Tanner has left the room.
I think he has to use the facility.
Yeah.
Do 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 do. Do.
Don't rush me. I can't stand the pressure. I'm communicating to you what he's saying from the bathroom.
I'm sure they could hear me.
I wouldn't be too certain. I just wanted to make sure that they got the entire funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Right. My favorite scene. I don't think it's come up yet, but it is the Jason and the Argonauts scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Without spoiling anything. If you know, you know.
Right.
Recommendations?
Dan to Dan.
Dun dun dun.
Dan to Dan.
Dun 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 dun.
God, I love that theme song.
It's like, I have not read the manga that this show is based on, but goddamn, I've been watching it on Netflix, and it's incredibly good. Fantastic animation, incredibly funny.
The storyline is fucking awesome.
Oh, the characters are great. Episode 7, that one was like,
Oh yeah.
That one was super good.
Very dark.
So the premise is that this girl meets this nerdy boy at her high school. She kind of defends him from bullies, and they spark a friendship. However, they've got conflicting ideas because he believes in aliens but not ghosts, while she believes in ghosts but not aliens. So they challenge each other to go to places involving the thing that they don't believe in. She goes to an abandoned building where apparently aliens show up. He goes to a blocked off tunnel where there's apparently a ghost. And they're both right. Aliens and ghosts do exist, because he winds up getting possessed by a ghost called Turbo Granny, while she gets abducted by aliens who want to steal her genitals. Tanner is just like,
what the fuck?
This is a long process. I'm still only on episode 1. So the boy, he uses his new Turbo Granny powers to save the girl from the aliens after she unlocks her own psychic powers, and they're trying to figure out just what the hell's going on, because she has to use her powers to suppress Turbo Granny while she's possessing the boy, and aliens.
They just want his banana.
It's so incredibly fun. It's probably my favorite new Shonen Jump show.
I very enjoy it myself.
Like I thoroughly enjoyed Kaiju number 8 earlier this year, but Dan to Dan blows it out of the water, just all across the board. It just gets better.
That's wild.
It is wild.
All the characters, all of them, all that have shown up now are fucking great. I don't hate any of them. Granny. There's no way that's her grandmother.
Ira. Oh man, strongly recommend checking it out.
Okay.
I'm sorry I stole your recommendation.
It's okay. I thought of something else, even though we talked about part of it already in the podcast.
Okay.
Not Bulma's involved, but we're talking about Dragon Ball. No Z.
Original Dragon Ball?
Original Dragon Ball.
Okay.
Young character named Goku teams up with a bunch of friends and goes on adventures.
Child Goku.
Child Goku. By my opinion, Dragon Ball is the best version of Dragon Ball. Or Dragon... out of the...
Out of the series?
Yeah. The original... Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, because it doesn't have all that. It doesn't have like
the power level scaling and all the power ups and shit.
The the power level bullshit is what eventually rocketed the series just out of.
It's just a young kid that gets strong, and
it is a show that's actually about being good at martial arts. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, there's a lot of, like, of course there's a lot of fantastical fighting, and there's...
The Kamehameha, but...
And there's Kamehameha and all this.
Roshi says it took me, like, several years to master the Kamehameha wave, and Goku tries it out one time and destroys a car.
And that's the whole subvert your expectations situation.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I like how literally all of Goku's friends used to be his enemy. Besides Krillin, he was just a slight rival.
I mean, let's see. Bulma shot him in the head.
Yep.
Yamcha tried to murder him. Oolong tried to kidnap him, thinking he was a girl.
Yeah.
Par with Yamcha. Tien tried to kill him.
Yep. But
Tien tried to kill him. Piccolo tried to kill him twice. Three times.
Yeah.
Gohan is his son, so he's not even in the equation. Roshi didn't try to kill him.
Yeah, he just wanted to get mermaids.
Like, he's the only one who didn't try to kill Goku at any point.
Because he was his master. Master Roshi.
No, it's because he was...
Krillin also didn't try to kill him, but they were rivals.
They were slight rivals, but...
To be fair, Roshi was just an old guy who just didn't want to be bothered.
Basically.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, there's the Ox King tried to kill him.
Ox King tried to kill him, and now he's his father-in-law.
Yep.
Chi-Chi didn't try to kill him.
I'm pretty sure she did.
She tried to kill Roshi.
She tried to kill Roshi. She tried to kill Yamcha, and then Goku showed up.
Yep.
And then...
Are you Chi-Chi? How do you know my name? I met your dad.
I met your dad.
He just kind of starts kicking Chi-Chi in her lady bit. And then she...
Pat.
I just see if she had balls. Come on, he doesn't know.
Goku is dumb.
Goku dumb, but funny.
A quick rub and a squeezy.
Fucking A.
Sorry. That's an OSW reference. If you know, you know.
And to think, this whole series originally focused on them trying to collect 7 balls of a dragon so that they could get a wish.
Yep. And one of them was for a pair of panties.
And those became minor plot points at later points in the series.
I saved the world. I saved the world from Pilaf. Anybody remember when I saved the world from Pilaf? Ask for Bulma's panties.
Pretty sure one of the evil Shenrons from GT remembers.
Yes, I'm sure.
I was the panties.
Now this is a new development.
Yep. Just sorry. So, actually, I did see like a little video that made me think it was like 3 times that Goku turned to Kakarot, how like more violent he seemed, and most of it was in GT.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, because Super Saiyan level 4, they just look angry all the time.
Now the question I'm sure is on everybody's minds is GT Remake going to be better than GT?
Oh, you're talking about Dyna?
Dyna, yeah. Let's face it, that is basically GT, but not utter shit right now. I mean, it could get worse, but it's fine right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm curious if they're going to continue on with Super, because the manga
went past where the anime is, so I can hope that they continue on because I want to see more of that. But the storyline that I don't know if they're still doing it in the manga, but they are doing the superhero storyline from the movie.
So, Beast Gohan.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Or El Blanco if you watch Daitomodachi.
Yo.
Blanco. All right, Tanner, your turn.
Honestly, I have not
thought of anything.
I have not thought of any lately. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
Fair point.
Fair.
It's been a rough couple of weeks. I have not been able to think of much.
That's fine. Completely understand.
I mean, we almost forgot that we even needed to do this month.
Yup.
Yeah, I just remember getting a message from ProtoMet saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, there is a Friday the 13th this month."
Yeah, the start of this month kind of took us by surprise. I'm not going to go into it here, but I have mentioned it on a recent Tries video. So
yeah, we had a funeral and a house cleaning. It was a rough couple of days.
That's ongoing.
Yeah. And so yeah, doing reviews was kind of low on the priority totem pole.
We kind of moved past it, and I was like, oh right, there's a Friday the 13th. We should probably get on that before we have to wait like half a year to do another.
Yeah. And I mean, worst comes to worst, we could have just had it delayed. It's what it is.
But we're soldiering through. And barring a power outage, don't you fucking dare.
I heard about that. We had to redo the Star Trek podcast.
We had to redo the whole thing. Jesus Christ. What a nightmare.
Yeah. But
surprised it didn't save.
I mean, it was corrupted. It
was corrupted. I couldn't use what had been saved.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Because a lot of it did autosave. It just when I put it into the editor, it didn't. It just would not accept it.
That sucked, donkey ball.
There was an attempt to salvage it. It just nothing we could do.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't have any. I don't have any.
So anyway, Neil meets the nun again.
Yep, Neil meets the nun again
at the funeral of Jessica, I believe.
That was earlier in the movie. This one, yeah.
Oh, this time he finds her in the clock tower.
Yeah, in the bell tower, and turns out it's a yes.
Condemned asylum.
Condemned asylum
that used to house the worst of the worst psycho patients.
So, from the canon of this of the whole series, this used to be a Catholic-run insane asylum, a church-run asylum, as it were, and a nurse, a young nurse in like the 40s was
accidentally locked in there over a holiday weekend, stuck with 100 maniacs.
They SA'd her multiple times, and she ended up with child.
Yep.
And that's how Freddy was born.
And that's how the asylum ended up closing, because it was such a scandal.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'd be fucking awful.
That would be why Freddy has gained the nickname "Son of 100 Maniacs."
Yep. Son of 100 bastards.
Yeah. We don't know which one's officially the seed.
I've heard the Maniac one a lot more. Bastard son of 100 maniacs.
You don't know that. You don't know that. They all could have been bastards. Maybe that's why they're there. They went mad, did crimes, because they didn't have a father figure.
They weren't beaten.
Who are you to judge them?
An outsider looking in at a movie that didn't really consider that aspect of their lives.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a you problem.
Fair point.
Anyways, yeah, so Nancy and Neil, they decide, all right, we got to find Freddy's bones and give him a proper burial.
Because the nun also tells him that in order to stop Freddy, you need to find his bones and give him a something close to a proper Christian burial.
He needs to be buried in holy ground or whatever that means.
And again, this is
I don't know
incredibly reasonable for
I
don't know how the junkyard would be holy ground, but okay.
Well, because it was blessed.
Yeah.
Well, fair point. Forgot about that portion.
So Neil and Nancy, they go see Nancy's dad, and
maybe he's still the sheriff, but
nope, he's a security guard now.
He is drunk.
He's still got a badge.
He's got a badge. It's a security badge.
But he's a drunkard.
Yeah,
he is drunk off his ass in this scene. He's not falling over in any way, but
super unhelpful.
No.
Yes, he does not want to deal with it.
We dealt with Freddy years ago. Let's just leave the past in the past. And Nance is like, no, because he's still out there killing people. You don't solve a problem by ignoring it.
No, you don't. So they leave. Then Neil ends up trying to talk to her dad. Then they go to a church, and he takes.
No, what happens is Neil gets a page from the hospital,
and
because the kids call him to inform him that Christy kind of flipped out and was taken to the quiet room and given sedatives. Mm-hmm. So she's in danger.
So Nancy goes to see the kids. Neil basically kidnaps John Saxon's
goes to a church, fills a bottle of alcohol after emptying it out with holy water.
Yeah, takes a cross.
Donald is his name. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, Neil kidnaps Donald. They go
Donald Duck.
Okay, so we're not gonna do a cut back to or whatever. We're just gonna quickly explain what happens. Neil and Don, they go to the junkyard. They dig up Freddy's bones. Freddy, as he's attacking all of the other characters, he realizes that his bones have been dug up, and we get a scene straight out of Jason and the Argonauts where the skeleton rises from the grave.
The two regular guys.
Yes. And
I was thinking Army of Darkness, but that works.
That one is...
yes, that one is also similar. And
you guys discussed that, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes,
we did. And he kills Donald by impaling him on a fender, a fender. And then he knocks Neil out with a shovel and which is super comedic.
And then he goes back to the dreams where he's already dealing with the other characters.
Yes,
so
where he's
back to where
I think his skeleton falls back apart.
His skeleton falls back apart because he thinks he has killed Neil.
He starts burying the guy.
Yeah, he starts burying the guy, and
he's like, triumphantly raises his arms to this guy.
I have won,
and then collapses.
Yep. So, so all the kids do a dream session, and they eventually get separated because Freddy attacks them, and they all get scattered. Mm-hmm. So, Taryn gets a drug overdose death, super uncomfortable.
She does do her best to try and punk fight her way against Freddy.
Yeah,
stabbing him in the armpit.
Yeah.
Which is an incredibly vulnerable area, a prime place to stab a guy if you want to disable him quickly.
Yeah, then his claws turns into a bunch of syringes, and all of a sudden you see her arms where her needle marks were.
Track marks.
Needle suckers, yeah. And so, she gets killed, and her screams also transition into Will's death, because Will is able to hear Taryn screaming.
I do want to mention one thing regarding Taryn's death. You can't have a death like that and then have Freddy turn around on the TV show and just soberly be like, don't do drugs, kids. Drugs are the real killer. It's like, you can't pull that bullshit, TV show.
Dude, technically he was right.
I mean, yes, but it was a dream, and also, if you're going to, do that elaborate thing and kill a person with a drug overdose, you can't then turn around and be like, all sober and serious about the matter. It's
I don't
like,
know.
You're not...
I don't know what you're talking about. Taron died of a drug overdose. Freddy doesn't exist.
And I wish that TV show didn't exist either.
Yeah.
I got to smack him, but I was like, no, it's not worth it. It's never a TV show
He's
that
right.
cares about.
Couldn't smack him. He's right. Damn it.
Yeah, I've watched part of it. I'm like, this show sucks.
The first episode is the only good episode.
Now, I think there are a handful of decent episodes.
You shut your fucking mouth.
Most of which are ones that actively have Freddy involved in the plot. A lot of episodes don't, and just have him being Rod Serling for the whole deal.
Anyways, yeah, so Will gets attacked by Freddy, and he uses his dream magic to, attack Freddy, and then he stupidly runs up to Freddy.
Well, what happens is Freddy animates his wheelchair into, a
death machine.
Yeah,
and he's like,
Will keeps dodging.
It, gets scraped in the leg. Well, I'm still magic. I'm a wizard. I'm a wizard. I'm the wizard that did it.
And the fucking... Yeah, that cape looks
and
like
then
a Dracula cape.
and then he stupidly runs up to Freddy.
And then Freddy grabs him and stabs him because he's like, I don't believe in fairy tales.
And it's like, okay, I would have done that scene way differently, where instead of Will running up to Freddy, I would have had it where they're strong,
they're struggling.
Freddy's struggling. He's fighting, and he inches his way closer and closer, and Will is backing up as he's using his magic powers and everything, and then he gets up to the back of a wall, and he's like, oh fuck, I've got nowhere to go. And he's cornered by Freddy, and Freddy slashes him in the face and kills him, and he's just like, I don't believe in fairy tales.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like if they did that, that would have undercut the whole I don't believe in fairy tales bit. Because the whole reason Freddy manages to just overpower Will is because magic doesn't exist even in this dream world.
Yeah, it's
only effective if we both believe in it, and I don't, so fuck you. Is what Freddy would say to Will.
Yeah, well, too bad Freddy's wrong, because he is magic.
I mean, admittedly, Will's death is one of the weakest in the entire movie.
He just gets picked up and stabbed. It's not even an interesting death.
Shit.
Yeah, where
4 fingers into the...
Yeah, 4 fingers into the chest.
Most of the scene is actually somewhat interesting, but the death itself is just wet fart.
Yeah, just wet fart.
And then, so then it's the rest of the group, and they find Joey.
The rest of the group consisting of Christy, Nancy, and Kincaid.
Yep.
So Nancy finds Christy, and then all of a sudden, Kincaid just breaks through the wall. Hulk style.
Almost, yeah.
And
I could kiss you. It's like, why aren't you?
They find Joey. Freddy's there, and he's ready to kill Joey once and for all. And then
you did forget to mention the fact that that what inspired Nancy to even go back is that Freddy scrawled a message on Joey's comatose chest saying, "Come and get him, bitch."
It's like, all right.
Yeah.
It's on, motherfucker.
So anyway, they rescue Joey. They're fighting Freddy. They run into a room full of mirrors, and
Freddy starts pulling everybody into the mirrors, and Joey screams.
Yep.
Which shatters the mirrors and frees everybody.
Yep.
Joey being mute gets himself a voice.
That's his dream power. Mm-hmm. And finally, they make it to the end. And Freddy attacks them again. And then he goes to fight with Neil and Don. And so they're at the kids, all the kids and everything, they think it's over, right? And then Don shows up in the dream. And he's like, sorry, Nancy, I died.
I'm crossing over. I just wanted to tell you goodbye.
And then...
It's like, come give me a hug.
Come give me a hug. And Nancy hugs Dawn, and then it turns out it's Freddy.
And
Freddy kills her, stabs her in the chest. Stomach, chest, whatever.
They're two distinctive parts of the body. Any doctor will tell you that.
And then Neil wakes...
Oh, look what happened to the cook!
Yep. And then Neil wakes up, and he pushes the bones into the grave, and then he throws...
the holy water on it.
Throws holy water on it. And so, Nancy is just like, how did you get your power, like, to Freddy?
And Freddy opens up his shirt and is like, here are all the kids. Their souls are in my body. Yep. That's how I did it.
That's how I did it. I get stronger with every child I kill. I'm going for the high score.
And eventually I'm going to turn them into meatballs on a pizza just for the shits and giggles. That movie was terrible.
Stupid.
The fuck?
Yeah, that happened. That fucking happened. I don't blame you for not remembering that.
And don't forget the cinema, where fucking somebody gets pulled into the cinema. It's also stupid. All right. Anyway, we're losing the plot on this. So Neil kills Freddy, and Freddy evaporates into, like, light. He is dead. Freddy is ex ipso facto.
This is an ex-Freddy.
This is an ex-Freddy.
Frederick Krueger.
Yes. He is, ipso facto dead. By the fact itself. He disappeared into a ball of light. And this is one of the only movies where it's framed as, like, a good ending. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
But here's the thing. How do you explain what happened? All right? You have one person dead in a junkyard after the junkyard collapsed. Okay? That one you could possibly explain away. All right? Neil is severely injured. He's possibly got a concussion. Taryn and Will are dead. Nancy's dead. That is 4 people dead in one night in one town. 3 of them in the same room of all different causes. One of a drug overdose, one with a stab to the heart, and one with a stab to the stomach. Who do you blame?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
The survivors, except they don't face any consequences.
Nobody faces any consequences in this movie. It's framed as a positive end. Bro, you had 3 people killed.
But they killed the Dream Demon.
They killed the Dream Demon, so it's all good.
And then the nun shows up at Nancy's funeral, and Neil follows her and finds out that she was Amanda Krueger.
Yeah, she's just a ghost.
Yep. She's the ghost of Freddy's mother.
Oh no!
Which I told you they explained.
Yes, she did. Whatever.
This guy went into the movie thinking that they explained that in a later movie and only implied it here.
No. Anyways, whatever. So yeah, that's Nightmare 3.
Yep.
Also, the movie ends with Neil sleeping and a spotlight shining on a 90s.
Yeah, fuck that. Fuck that. Why do you have that finish? Why do you even bother having that finish? I know you want a sequel, but you can't just have your fucking happy ending, guys.
Admittedly, that just kind of happens. It's like, it just happens. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
You could have just ended on the reveal of the ghost being Amanda.
Yeah, being Amanda Krueger. I know how Freddy comes back in the next movie. You could have just opened on that, and it still would have been fine. I mean, never mind. I'm losing the.
They hadn't written for you.
I'm losing the trees for the forest. I'm losing the forest for the trees. Sorry, that's the phrase. Yeah, it really does not matter. What would you guys rate that movie?
I give it a solid 8.
Probably a 7.
7.5. Honestly,
I actually like this one.
I still think it's debatably the best, maybe outside of the first and New Nightmare.
And again, those are in constant competition with me.
Yes.
For all 3 of them are so good.
Yes.
New Nightmare is so good, though.
I think the only problem with New Nightmare is the child acting, but that's a different story.
It's child acting.
Yeah, that's kind of a crapshoot in general.
You should see the child acting in all the tokusatsu shit we see. Watch.
No, you should see the child acting in Signs.
I have.
Yeah.
That's fucking terrible.
Is it as bad as Dinosaur Hotel?
No.
Okay. Because the child actors in that were god-awful.
Like,
now you want
they were wooden.
Now you want an example of good child acting? Village of the Damned.
There you go. There you go.
Superb child
I really
acting.
need to watch at least one version of that movie.
Yes, you should.
I say we should discuss it sometime.
That's absolutely on the table.
That and Cape Fear and other classics.
Fair point, yeah.
Rambo.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, yeah, we plan on doing that eventually.
Just when do we get around to it?
I just rewatched that the other week.
Or First Blood. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember, but a while ago, I just watched the ending of that movie.
Yeah, still great.
You don't even need to
like
watch the movie. You just need to watch his speech at the end.
A great, fantastic scene.
All I'll say is, you need to watch the first half hour of the movie, and then the final 20 minutes, and you're golden.
Which isn't to say that
I'm
the
sorry,
rest of the
but those
movie is
cops
bad.
were bullying him. They got what they got.
Those cops got what they deserved.
Yeah.
Except for the one cop who was just like, hey, guys, maybe we should
Just leave him alone.
maybe we should just calm down.
Yeah, he was a bit more of on the unfortunate side.
He was a victim
All
of
things
circumstance,
All things
having
considered.
shitty coworkers.
We all have
Which
a
is
set of those.
Yes, but when your coworker is a shitty cop,
Yeah.
yeah. That's why they say all cops are bastards, because even good cops, they're not good cops, because they just sit idly by and let this stuff happen.
But that's a topic for another day.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Because there were no cops involved in this movie, except for the one.
Except for this one who turned into a security guard.
Was he a mall cop?
No.
He's not next to Paul Blart.
No, his name was not Mr. Paul Blart.
Did he become the security guard of the junkyard? Is that why he has the key?
Maybe. Either that or he just has a spare. I don't fucking know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anything else we need to discuss?
I really don't got
The
anything.
effects work on this film were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
The tendon slicing is really good. Very uncomfortable.
Snake.
Giant snake.
The
Terran's kill.
how the Freddy coming out of the TV.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. The hell scene. The hellscape scene, at least. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, the special effects is pretty good.
Freddy. Yeah.
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 Sorry, like we pretty much talked about all the stuff ad nauseum, so we really don't have much else to add.
No.
Like ProtoMet said 8, Tank said
7.
7, I said 7.5, which is probably right around the range that it deserves to be at. Because I forget what we rated the first Nightmare film.
I can't remember either.
neither.
That was like 10 years ago. In my mind.
In your mind, yeah. That might have been only last year. Last year or the year before.
I think it was the year before.
Yeah.
Early last year.
Early last year. Because we started the podcast, 3 years ago?
4?
It's been a while.
Almost 5.
It's been a while.
I'm pretty sure we started in 2020. So
We started during the Forbidden Zone.
the Forbidden Zone. The Dark Days.
The Dark Days. What is it called in Dragon Ball? Shit. Where Garlic Jr. gets sent to.
The Dead Zone?
Yeah, the Dead Zone.
Ain't that in Superman? No,
It's okay, the Dead Zone isn't canon. No, you're thinking of the Phantom Zone.
That's it.
Yes.
That one's a lot more canon.
Yeah.
Zod. Oh.
Well, I suppose that'll do it for us.
Yeah.
Alright, until next time, I've been Tank.
I'm ProtoMet. Well, fuck, I fucked that up.
I'm ProtoMet.
I'm the guard who always tells the truth.
And until next time, see ya.
I am the knight that goes knee.
Bye.